All right, it's Thirsty Thursday time. Breweries thousands of miles apart are coming together in a one-of-a-kind beer festival in Portland.
Fuji to Hood celebrates the collaboration between Oregon and Japan, featuring unique beers crafted by teams of one local and one Japanese brewery. It's a really cool collab here.
Yeah.
I love this project. You're not going to find these pours anywhere else. You got to go to this. Joining us on the couch right now are two organizers for Fuji to Hood. We have Gillen and Michael Walcott. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
We just love it. You know, we were talking about it behind the scenes. It's so cool that you have this, you know, this collaboration with Japan and Oregon, and you alternate where it's at. You know, each and every year, one in Japan. It's back in the Rose City here this year. What can people expect?
Well, this year it's going to be, first of all, bigger than it has been in the past. The last time we did it was in 2022. And because it's a bigger event, we're moving to a new location, which is the Red. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
The
Great
Red on
venue
Salmon.
in the Central East. Exactly.
Great event space on the east side.
And in addition to all the interesting beers, there's also ciders. We've added a lot to the cultural component this year.
Okay, and that seems like such a cool way to showcase a lot of the connections between Oregon and Japan. What are some of the things that really kind of, you know, lend this collaboration to working well together?
Well, Oregon has had strong connections with Japan for a very long time. So, for example, we have a kendo club, you know, it's been around forever. That's Japanese sword fighting, essentially.
Oh, wow.
So there'll be a demo of that. There are Japanese car enthusiasts, so we'll be having some vintage Japanese cars showing. We have, of course, a wonderful food culture here, so a lot of Japanese and Japanese-inspired foods, and you know, more cultural stuff than just beer and cider.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much. It really does run the gamut. But on the beer front, I'm just curious, what are one of the big differences between Japanese beer and maybe a beer that you would typically find in the Pacific Northwest?
Oh, so in Japan, still craft beer is very small market share, whereas here is the majority, right?
Oh.
So they're used to the kind of the beers, it's called industrial beers. So it's a growing movement in Japan, and so we are much more adventuresome over here, I would say. So that's really helpful for the collaboration because the Japanese brewers learned from the breweries here. I would say the craft beer scene in Oregon is probably good 5 years ahead of where it is in Japan, but the Japanese are benefiting. And every time Michael and I go back, we see the Japanese craft beer is getting better and better and better, and largely due to the education and the learnings they get from working and collaborating with the Oregon brewers.
Yeah,
Cool.
well, and then at the same time, Oregon brewers get the chance to work with some of these like Japanese ingredients that maybe they have not used in their brewing before. So what are some of the things they got to work with this year?
This time, citrus, Japanese citrus is featured fairly prominently. We have yuzu, dekopon, shikuasa, iokan. These are probably some citrus you've probably never even heard of.
I was going to say, I think I only know yuzu on that list.
Yuzu, I know,
Yeah.
Yuzu is having a moment, but maybe some of these other citrus will become part of our vocabulary too after these brewers get to play with them. And in addition,
there's also use of tea. Hibiscus, things like that. And there are also some more interesting ones that probably wouldn't see very often in beers here or in Japan. It includes the use of seaweed. Some beers have seaweed in them.
That's cool.
Some have a sweet cooking wine called mirin. And another beers have a cider actually is using Japanese cedar chips to age the cider.
Oh, cool.
So there's some really kind of out there beers and ciders that will be presented at the festival, but knowing the brewers and the cider makers here in Oregon, I'm sure it's all going to be delicious.
Well, and again, like you can't find these beers just like on the grocery stores. Like you gotta go to this to check this out.
these are being made just for next Saturday.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
One of a kind collab. That's right. So it's happening next weekend. If folks want to get their tickets, what do they need to know?
Go to the website.
Okay, so
Fuji
still
to Hood.
tickets on sale.
Yes, yes. You can
Excellent.
get pre-sale tickets now and save $5, but you can also show up at the event and purchase a ticket. And we also want to point out that admission to the event is free. The tickets are just for the commemorative tasting glass and tickets to taste these various beers and ciders.
Excellent.
Nice,
Okay.
nice.
So
That's
yeah,
great.
if you've got some friends that want to come along, just kind of check it out.
Check
You
out the
can do
music,
that
the
too.
dancing, all that.
Yeah, you're immersed in that culture for a while.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's going to be a really fun time. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
And have fun at next weekend's festival back here in Portland this year. Again, if you want to check it out, the Fuji to Hood Beer Fest happening Saturday, July 20th, next Saturday at the Red on Southeast Salmon. VIP session starts at 11. General admission begins at noon. Get all the tickets and info you need at fujitohood.com.
Yeah.